It was kind of a chain of events, really. It was in 2010. I had just bought my 1991 Volkswagen Westfalia. Really, I bought it as a photography road trip machine to get out and shoot photos and start chasing that kind of stuff. And a couple months after buying that van, I came down really sick. It turns out that not only did I have appendicitis, but my appendix actually ruptured. Definitely something changed within me at that time. When I got out of the hospital, I remember like just getting out of there, and it was like everything was in HD. I just remember looking around, it's like, man, crazy. Everything just looks so clear. And I had this desire in the following weeks to want to simplify my life. I was thinking, I'm living in a house. I've got all this stuff. I don't need all this. I've really tried hard to live my life by the mantra of, you got one life to live. And I think that really stems from my discovery of photography. Photography taught me so much about passion because I loved it so much. It taught me to go outside and appreciate the wilderness and appreciate the world around me. From then on, I just, through that passion, really started chasing these dreams and these goals that I really ultimately wanted to do. Here I was about 6 months into van life, and it was at that point in time when I'd realized that not only had I learned so much about living in a van, but I'd also learned so much about life, and I was so appreciative of that opportunity to be enlightened by that. Thought to myself, maybe I should create a YouTube channel and give back to the community that gave me this gift. And I was sitting in the Walmart parking lot, living in my van, so I pulled my iPhone 3 out of my pocket, and I took a quick look around. I was like, okay, nobody's looking, nobody's parked around here. And I put it up online. I created the channel. I thought, I'll call it Living the Van Life. Never did I think that I could actually be making a living by living in my van. And it's been a dream come true because ultimately I'm behind a camera telling stories and sharing it with a large audience. That's what means the most to me, is just being able to share stories. And every adventure out here into this backcountry it's a story to tell. So here I was up catching one of these big winter storms in the North Cascades of Washington State, and I'm up about 5,000 feet elevation, way up in the mountains. This solid snowstorm coming in, it's dumping feet of snow, and I'm thinking, man, I've got this sweet ultimate battery set up now, I'm solid. And about 11 o'clock at night, I finally finished my episode and all the filming and all the cooking. It's a lot of work. And I go to crawl inside and everything's shut down. My batteries are like at almost zero within less than a day. And I'm like, wait, I should be good to go for like days and days with the setup that I just installed. But then quickly realizing that because of the cold and because of how lead acid works, it becomes so inefficient and it lost all its power and basically left me with barely enough power to run my lights. And I slept out there in the freezing cold. It was like 25 degrees Fahrenheit, and I was hunkered up under my blankets because that system left me high and dry. One of the great things that they've implemented into these batteries that I've got, which I've actually got some of the first off the production line, is that they now have a built-in heating system so that when it drops below a certain temperature, that heating system kicks back in, warms up those batteries, and then you can be recharging on the go without having to worry about damaging your batteries. And ever since that time of dealing with those lead acids in the cold, it was constantly lingering over my shoulders of, oh man, do I have enough power? Am I gonna make it through this next trip? Where am I at? And that's the battery anxiety. And so getting my hands on the Battle-Born lithium batteries and creating this solid system, all of a sudden, all that battery anxiety is gone because everything's so solid. You know it's gonna work. You know it's something that you can depend on. That's important for me because not only is it me just huddling up in the cold, my whole production depends on these batteries and the power that comes from it. And if I don't have that, then I don't have my YouTube channel. Honestly, the thing that keeps me wanting to live this lifestyle is when I look back and I reflect on every single opportunity, every journey, every adventure that this van has brought me on. I look back at where that thing's taken me, and I can't help but feel so grateful for the opportunities it has provided.